All right, everybody, we are going to wrap up the whole conversation, the whole chat when it comes to 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, Season 4. They've done and completed the season, did their 3-part tell-all. So I'm just going to kind of do a quick overview, recap of what happened, basically. Starting with Debbie and Usama, when it comes to them, Debbie had a really big, says 43-year age difference with Usama. The big issue with them is that Usama appeared to be trying to come to America, but Debbie was saying that she's supposed to be staying in his country. So that's where the debacle was and the misunderstanding, so to speak, even though Usama says she knew this the whole time, that his plan was to come to America, but it seemed as if he was kind of being deceitful and kind of playing her dirty a little bit. So even a couple of the people there from the couples were saying, why shouldn't he go to America? Maybe that's so, but it's just the way that he seemed deceitful, and she should have been very clear on the fact that this is what his agenda was. So who's right, who's wrong in that situation was never really cleared up, but I'm on Debbie's side. I mean, she should have been aware of what his plan was, and this is what he wanted, because she wanted something completely different. So I kind of don't trust Usama. But that's basically how their thing ended. But I was a little surprised because she said the door was still open for them to talk and be friends and be friendly and maybe have a relationship. But she said he really had to prove himself to her before she could let him back in to a relationship style thing. For me, I would have been done and done. Sorry. I would have been done. Alright, we have Danielle and Johan, and for these two there was also an age difference, and they were talking about how Danielle was very emasculating to Johan because she basically carried the weight of the finances in their relationship. He was really upset because she brought her ex back around, as far as her ex was visiting their country. So he didn't want her to reconnect with this ex, but she said, I'm going to do it anyway against his wishes, and that was one of their big issues. And the fact that also she was like wearing the pants in the relationship and kind of putting him down a lot because he didn't have the same finances that she had. It was kind of mean the way he treated her at times, and when she gave him like this really great birthday party, but he didn't acknowledge her. But he was upset about her seeing her ex, and it's just very messy, their relationship. And I was talking about previously, if you can't really turn someone into a housewife or a wife overnight, if they're used to being independent and doing their own thing and they have a certain lifestyle, being a wife is a different thing. So if you're used to, especially she's older than him, she's lived the way she's lived for many years, and it's hard for someone like that really to say, I'm gonna be a housewife, I'm gonna be a wifey to you and be submissive. It seems like that's just not her personality as well. So between them, it looked like he basically was saying, we're gonna divorce and we're gonna be done with. So that's kind of sad, but we'll see what happens. She said she was gonna continue to fight for the relationship, but we will see. I think he was just really hurt. He may not let it go, but they just have to figure it out. And I think she really has to show him more respect. Even though he may not be as financially well off, he's also younger. He's also working to build himself. I think she should make allowances for that, and always show respect for your husband, no matter his age or his financial abilities. In a relationship, you should always show respect for your spouse, and I wouldn't put the dirty laundry out there, so to speak. I wouldn't let my spouse look bad on national TV. Of course, if there's a money issue, there's a money issue, but it's just the way that she did it, and she kind of really makes him look bad and really makes him, I think, feel like less of a man. That's the issue. Don't know if they're gonna stay together, but she said she's gonna try. Nicole and Mahmoud, one of my favorite couples. He's Muslim. She converted to being Muslim, but previously she was Christian, but I don't think she was, a staunch Christian. but they just fight mostly about when it comes to her apparel or clothing. So that's really the main crux of their issues. And then we find out Mahmoud also was chatting with somebody online. It was supposedly business, but he was asking personal questions to this person, so she was upset about that. Mahmoud got into it with one of the castmates as well, so that wasn't that wasn't good. They were basically trying to stand up for her. Gabe was trying to stand up for her, and maybe he went a little bit too far in, his comments. But I mean, he wasn't really negative, but he was just being like, what? Really just telling it like it is, honestly. But Mahmoud couldn't take that, and he was like, this is my business, my marriage. That's true, but you shouldn't be on 90 Day Fiance if you don't want to put all of your stuff out, or a lot of your stuff, because it's going to come out. So I do understand the respect for marriage. People shouldn't really put their 2 cents in, but this is what the tell-all does all the time. All the other couples comment on all the other couples. They do it purposely. They make it a little cat fighty or dog fighty or whatever. That's kind of one of the levels of drama that they use on these tell-alls. So definitely he played into that, and so we don't know. When it comes to Nicole and Mahmoud, it seems like they're going to try to work it out. He's supposed to still be coming to America shortly, so we'll see. His brother came on and tried to, he didn't really take up for him, but he said, he's going to help them, and he's in between, and he'll try to make everything good with them. But honestly, at the end of the day, it's between them two, and the brother can have some influence, but at the end of the day, it's the two of them that is going to have to make it work. But it looks like they're going to try. Even though Nicole was crying, Mahmoud was cussing out Gabe, it was a little messy and entertaining, and that's the drama that they use, the drama of the day. But they appear to be on a similar page, and they're going to try to work things out. Jen and Rishi. Jen is substantially older than Rishi, and in his Indian culture, his mother basically, after the information got out that they were together, because he was very scared to tell his family, after this information got out due to Jen's friends, it was kind of like a little setup. The mom acted like she was open. She didn't say completely yes, but she acted like she was open to them being together. She found out the age difference and said no, especially for the fact that she may not be able to bear children. We're not sure if that will be a possibility, or if she even wants to do that in the first place. So at the tell-all, the age difference became a big, huge thing, and Jen was so upset that the mother was saying she was too old. Everybody was kind of jumping on Rishi, saying he was a coward for not standing up for his woman in this relationship. He had to be asked 2 or 3 times to translate in his language to his mother and his uncle that he was with her, that he was going to marry her no matter what. He finally did it, but you really basically shouldn't have to pull teeth that much. And some others commented as well, you shouldn't have to push that hard or do that much for someone to accept you, or let their family know that they accept you, they love you, they're going to marry you. Rishi is in a way weak in some ways, and I do respect his culture, and I understand that's a big part of it, but there's got to be some middle ground where he stands his ground yet still respects his culture. And to me, it just seems like he just doesn't know how to do that, so he just falters. He acts like he's completely with Jen, but he's not completely with Jen. He acts like he's completely with his family, but he's not completely on their side. So he's like playing 2 different parts and not really standing up for what he wants, yet still upholding his heritage. So for them, it's another up in the air. Possibly they're gonna stay together. We don't know if Rishi's gonna stick to his word, because his family still doesn't agree with it. So their thing, Jen and Rishi, is kind of up in the air. But if I was Jen, I'll just have to be done. Goodbye, Rishi. Sorry, it's just she's older. She doesn't have time to play games with this guy. I know there's a love for her, but all this back and forth, is it really worth it? I don't know, because something similar to me happened with other Indian couple with Sumit and Jenny, and they were together for like 10 years, and he stood his ground more than Rishi, but it was a lot of back and forth of him being on either side, and they ended up finally being together. But it took 10 plus years for them to work their thing out, and they have a huge age difference as well. So if Jen wants to wait that long, that's up to her. Chris and Jamie are a same-sex couple, and they were basically a mess. They just had so much dirt on each other. Mostly Chris was saying that Jamie was, I hope I'm saying the right person. No, mostly, yeah, Chris was saying that Jamie was not really holding it down as she promised. She was supposed to be sending money and helping to fund their new life together. They got married in her country, but Jamie had to go back and work. Jamie had like medical issues and had to get medical help in her country. So they were apart a lot, and when they got together, it was just always arguments and fighting. And Chris basically calling Jamie out, saying, she never really came up with the money she was supposed to come up with to help pay for the apartment, which is all she asked for. Also, her ex, which was a man, sent her like naked pictures of them together, or naked pictures of her, and then Jamie claims another woman, while they were before they got married, another woman was claiming that Chris was talking to her. So their relationship was very messy, a little bit more messy than I thought, as those two last items were revealed. Definitely they look like they're going their separate ways. It's not going to work with them. We have Gabrielle and Isabel, and Isabel is cisgender woman. Gabe is a transgender male. Okay, I think I got that right. So they had some challenges when it came to telling Isabel's family about that information. Gabe also had challenges with his sister Monica, just not accepting their relationship and not really being happy for them. Ended up Monica never came to their wedding, so that was like the big issue between them. But Gabe was like in everyone's business at the tell-all, and just basically telling everybody what they need to do and what they should do. And the hostess definitely has to put her stamp on things and ask those difficult questions. But Gabe was like already up and ready to give their 2 cents on everybody's relationships, and I just thought it was funny, but I thought it was entertaining. But Gabe is definitely a busybody, but I enjoyed the show. Gabe and Isabel, their relationship is doing very well, and Gabe lives in Colombia with Isabel, but came back to do the tell-all. So their relationship is probably the best one out of everybody's relationship. Most of the other ones are up in the air or struggling. So Gabe and Isabel seem to be the only solid couple that came out of this season. And that's just the way that things went down for 90 Day Fiance. The Other Way Season 4, I was thoroughly entertained. I don't feel that there should have been a 3-part tell-all. I feel like a lot of the stuff got aired out in the first and second, and I really don't think the third part was really necessary. But it was what it was. And I do want to mention one of the good part as well with Debbie and Usama. That Debbie's son came out and defended her against Usama. He really got upset and irate. That was kind of entertaining, but I really do think somebody should have stood up for her, and that's what he did. Also found out that he gave his number to Jen, so that's a possible backup person if Rishi doesn't come through for Jen. She got his number, Debbie's son's number, so that can be a thing. Just a few different things that happened on there. Overall, I had fun with the season. It was a pretty good season, and I'm looking forward to more. I think The Other Way is probably my favorite amongst all the 90 Day series. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for a moment as I completed my quick review. I don't know how quick it was this time. As 90 Day Fiance The Other Way Season 4 ends completely. What are your thoughts? You can always drop something in the comments, and you can always connect with me anytime. Email cbiztv@yahoo.com, or you can always listen in on the podcast at cbiztvmedia.com. That's cbiztvmedia.com. Thanks for listening, guys, and as always, this is Irene. God bless.